kind of sudden change and drift of season, like what you are saying. So there is like 15 days before only we got the rainy season,
Yes.
and it's not like exactly the rainy season also. Sometimes it's like cold, sometimes it's
Yes.
hot,
Yes.
and sometimes. So all this is definitely making the amadoshas to go here and there, and definitely it is having even playing a major role in the blockages of energy also. I can see that also. So sometimes I feel sluggish, sometimes I feel good. But altogether, I always try to balance myself with the mood also. That also I'm just taking that thing. And one more thing that I'm observing is when I'm going to different places and meeting different people, that is definitely allowing me to stay in a much more happier mood or change in the. So in
That's
that way, I'm feeling. I mean, it's like on holistically, we need to take care or take charge of the body is what I'm knowing. So as you are rightly saying, it's not like one thing that we need to calm the thing. It's like all the holistically when we are rightly synchronized with everything, then only we will be placed in the right movement is what I'm feeling. And yeah, definitely I'll look forward. Like Rajesh, he was saying, even the poha sometimes, and it's like we feel like it is a lighter food, but even I feel the same way when I start eating the poha little or more also sometimes. That we that even then, even though we are very much mindful, sometimes we will have more or
absolutely.
sometimes very less, and acidic definitely happen. But what I am observing even in that case also, when we start eating regularly on a continuous basis, body is allowing itself to slowly digest itself and
Yes.
get
Yes.
take the control. So rather feeling guilty about what we ate, it's just if we are on the right time. If it is a time factor, if we are having something that allows us our body to have the digestion, that itself is a major thing than eating late with the right food is what I am also observing. This is also one thing that I have noticed. So yeah, definitely all these challenges, even though they are coming, like your smile and your sessions are keeping us active. And definitely I look forward each week to see you and hear you, ma'am. That allows us to relax a bit more. And it's like I always feel this is a community of what I am even learning, and I'm really happy to be part of this. Thank you for the journey.
Great, great, great. Really nice. I remember when Rakesh joined me 15, 20 days back, the situation was quite bad. I mean, all of us are in different phases of life, right? And when he came, it was really bad when he came, but things improved. See, it's all about how we take it. It's all one day at a time. And I tell everyone, whatever we have, and when we share, things become more easy and lighter. So today's article, if you have read, I was speaking about how knowledge and content is available, but then how much we take, how much we assimilate, that is also very important. So much will be told. I will be telling so many things. People across the globe will be telling you so many things about diet, nutrition. There's so much of confusion. But then taking it one at a time, assimilating it, and then taking it, well, and nourishing yourself only will be helping us. Sometimes overdoing things will always create a clutter for us. So slowly things will improve. And believe me, I give you an assurance. Next year, by this time, we all will be in a perfect shape. It's all about that simple imbalance of doshas. And once we bring that balance into doshas, we will be capable enough of handling ourselves. Then all these small changes in the climate or small changes in the diet will not disturb us. I can tell you that. It's just a journey. We have just finished exactly 1 month. Last 1st of May, we started our community. Today is 1st of June, 2nd of June. So, exactly 1 month we have been doing it. And I'm sure next 3, 4 months you'll be in perfect shape. That time you will even forget what issues we had in the past. I can assure you that. It's just being there, holding on to things, doing it every day irrespective, and by 2, 3 months we'll get a proper habit of that. We'll get a proper hang of it, right? Isha, if you can share how you've been able to handle how things are. No, this is
I-
only as an
I'm yet
interaction.
to start these.
Oh, you got it. Very nice, very nice. I'm so happy. Please start tomorrow. I no, you start. I will not share it with you, But for all the other community members, I'm going to share Atomic Habits ka summary, because I know Rakesh ji and Rajesh ji both are entrepreneurs. They're very busy, so they'll not be able to read the book on a whole. But I promise tomorrow morning I'll share a PDF of Atomic Habits. Please go through that one page at a time, and then we will discuss on that. And you don't have an option, Nisha. You have to read the whole book.
Sure, sure. I'll be happy to read the whole book.
Yes,
Then
yes.
we'll compare our summaries.
Exactly, exactly. Yes, yes. Great, great. So you got the books. That's the first step in their journey. Other things, how are you able to
I'm
handle?
writing my gratitude journal, although not many points every day, but at least I make sure I write.
Perfect.
Then I won't say it is making drastic changes, but I feel good about writing it.
Feeling good is the first step. See, I tell people what, that usually for us, general human tendencies, we feel when patients come to me, when they will never agree that they are feeling good. Because when they say they feel good, no, they feel maybe doctor will not take care, or maybe he will not give proper medicine, or maybe he will, you know, ठीक है ऐसे छोड़ दे.
डॉक्टर विल से जब अच्छा लग रहा है तो आए क्यों मेरे पास.
हाँ वही एग्जैक्टली. तो मैं उनको क्या बोलती हूँ कि आप अगर चीज को देख के अगर अप्रिशिएट भी करने लगोगे ना, वो 10% जो भी चेंज हो रहा है, तो वो 10% मैग्नीफाई होके 100% होने में टाइम नहीं लगता है. Because until and unless we appreciate that small change, now how Rajesh ji said, yes, bloating is come down, it is feeling better. Not 100%, but things are improved. That is the way we recognize when we give that signal to our brain कि हाँ पॉजिटिव हो रहा है. तो सच में पॉजिटिव चेंजेस होने लगते हैं. दिस में लुक वेरी ऑड टू यू जब आई स्पीक ऑल दिस थिंग टू यू कि ये क्या है. ऐसे थोड़ी ना होता है कि बोलने से थोड़ी ना बदलता है. बदलता है. आई हैव सीन इट प्रैक्टिकली. यस.
In this law of attraction book, I was just turning the pages. I came across some part of the brain which registers it, and that is why it's important to repeat an activity. So that is how it starts working in that direction. It doesn't have the logic to choose as such, but it will just run on whatever you feed it.
Exactly.
So that is how I think it works.
That's true. Olden days, no, that's why if you have seen, learning was entirely a different pattern. There was no analysis initially. First, initially you were taught shlokas. You have to just by heart. You have to just by heart, irrespective whether you understand or no. And then they used to analyze on that. Depending on each person's capacity, उनका क्या आईक्यू लेवल है, उसके हिसाब से फिर टीचर्स उनको वो पर्टिकुलर चीज को एलॉबरेट करते थे. एंड देन थिंग्स यूज टू हैपन. अभी भी when we put a certain rules, maybe for gut, for general health, और जो भी आप बोलो, वो रूल्स जब हम स्टेडफास्टली डेली अगर फॉलो करें ना, थिंग्स विल एक्चुअली एक्सलरेट. तो वहीं पे प्रॉब्लम होता है कि हम हैबिट नहीं कर पाते किसी चीज की,
Yeah.
राइट चीज की, और वो करना है. एंड दैट इज हैपन पॉसिबली, इट हैपन्स इन अ कम्युनिटी. क्योंकि देखो अभी हम चार लोग मिले हैं तो हम बात कर रहे हैं. I'll be motivated by Rajesh ji, Rakesh ji, you will be motivated by थोड़ा रे वो लोग कर क्यों नहीं
Definitely.
कर पाती, right? लेकिन I can try. So it's like a satsang. Satsang doesn't mean that you
Yeah.
speak philosophy. Satsang means that you're talking about a proper subject where you get to learn things, right? So what are the steps that you have taken, Isha ji? You have to tell me.
One more thing, you had told me to write your plan, early morning plans.
Yes,
So that
yes,
is also like small accomplishments every day. That is also making me feel like wow.
yeah,
And night also, I make it a point to tick mark it. Like, ye ho gaya, ye ho gaya. So that is really self motivating. I'm enjoying that activity.
very nice, very very nice.
One thing I observed of my body was usually when the temperatures are high during the day, around 11:31 or 4, about like that. At some point, I feel very dull
Hmm.
for no reason. I can't reason it out.
Yeah.
But then right now, or as like night comes, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I just become like a night owl. I'm wide awake. I'm very cheerful. I don't know if it has to do something with the temperature or what, but I've seen that. And since I've been missing classes in the morning, I've been thinking like, okay, अगर रात में 10 बजे क्लास होती तो मैं कभी मिस नहीं करती.
पर वो
Because I
सही
feel very
है.
active and good at that time. No, it's like चलो कुछ करते हैं. I feel like going for a walk or exercising at that time. But during the day, I'm useless.
Okay. No issues. Ye all because of imbalance of doshas. वो भी हम ठीक करेंगे, उसको भी ठीक करेंगे।
हाँ.
पर आपको अभी नेक्स्ट मोटिवेशन करना है, 1 महीने हो गए, जून में आपको अभी योगा क्लास ज्वाइन करना है सुबह सुबह, प्लीज डू दैट।
So every day I wake up late and then like अरे यार मिस हो गई, अब मैं क्या बताऊँ. I feel like
See,
that.
start. At least once in a week or twice in a week, I want you to join. See, even if you leave me, I'll not leave you. I'll try to
Thank you.
motivate you. आप join करो, हो जाओ. 1 month I have given you. Now
Yeah.
it's high time. You have entered the second month of our community travel. You have to start now your yoga classes,
Yeah.
right? At least twice in a week, I want you to be there in the yoga class.
Yeah. Yeah.
You will be made the leader that particular day. You have to lead us. That is the only way. The naughtiest kid is made the monitor in the class so that the class remains silent. So
I'm not the naughtiest here.
you're not the naughtiest, but you're not able to wake up in the morning. So that's why I
तो
want
irregular
you
को
there.
regularity का responsibility दे दो.
Exactly. Done. Okay, all fun done. I'm so
And one more thing, like I'm consciously trying to avoid tea or coffee as the first thing in the morning.
great.
Don't always succeed, but I still like 80%, I would say I was able to do. And so I'd start with the banana or apple, or even after breakfast, I'll have a little bit of tea or coffee.
Perfect.
Not like this much also.
Very good. Very good.
So I'm liking it. I feel like I'm doing something good for my body, like, okay, I'm not abusing my body. So it feels good. That
Perfect.
feeling that you have done something good itself peps you up, I would say.
Yes, every day. See, this is the only reason. So even if it is 8:27, I'm still continuing this discussion is because we get time now only, right? In community calls like this when we can share and understand. Otherwise, like कभी कभी कॉल होता है यार, कभी कभी मैसेज होता है. But when we share things, तब लगता है यार हाँ कुछ किया है हमने, like, right? So and that makes you feel good. That's great. That's great. Like even if we are grown-ups, we are still kids by heart. And our small achievements will always give us happiness. And I believe kitne bhi bade ho na, heart should be like a kid's heart. Because if you see, बच्चों को ना ज्यादा diseases नहीं होते हैं, except for cough and cold. They don't have much issues because उनका ये problem नहीं होता है. When they are young, they're like carefree, happy. कुछ भी खाओ, कुछ भी करो, जितना भी है एकदम खुश. वो एक happiness का element we have to consciously add in our life. Very, very important. Learn to be happy. Whatever may be the condition, learn to be happy, find reasons to be happy. Be happy with your family, be happy with the colleagues. Even if they are not good, be happy. There's a story actually, Gautam Buddha, I don't know whether I have told you in person, but Gautam Buddha was traveling, that time by forest and all used to walk. So there was one person who used to find happiness in abusing. His nature was to just abuse. He used to find a lot of happiness by that. So Buddha used to travel. This guy used to always abuse. कुछ ना कुछ बात करो, कुछ ना कुछ टोको. And Buddha used to just smile and just walk away from there. So this happened, continued for a week's time, 10 days time, 15 days time. At a month's end, this particular person got frustrated because he used to abuse. Nothing was happening. He was not getting the required reaction. So he was very frustrated. So then at the end of 30th day, he stopped Buddhaji and he said, I am shouting, I'm abusing you, yet you're not reacting. What is the thing? Don't you feel bad that I'm speaking such bad things about him? He says only one thing. He says that is your perspective about me, not my perspective about myself. तो ये अगर ट्रिक हमें पता चली ना कि जिंदगी में irrespective of what others say or other thing about you, that should never allow you to destroy your happiness. You should be the only owner of your own thoughts. Nothing and nobody, no situation, no person, no thoughts should influence your happiness. Ups and downs will be there. पर उसको झाड़ दो, निकाल दो और फिर come back to the normalcy and he say no, I will not allow anything and anybody to influence my happiness. It is like Gautam Buddha says, it's your perspective. आप चिल्ला रहे हो उसको, आप उसमें आपको खुशी मिल रही है. मुझे तो I am happy anyway because I am not that person that you're speaking about, right? है कि नहीं? I keep telling everyone, even Isha, you have to remember कि irrespective of whatever anybody says or everybody thinks about you, we are not that. When we see world in a particular way, it's like we are wearing a black glass. We will see things in black color. When we wear red glasses, we will see world in a red color. Similarly, if we don't wear any glass, we see it with a proper perspective. It's all about perspective. Rajesh, if you remember when we were young, there was one program which used to come on Doordarshan. उसमें एक elephant आता है. There's one elephant which comes, and there are 10 blind people who are sent just to examine, and they have to give their version of what they think about that particular part. So those 10 people, they come. One person is holding the trunk, the other person is holding his ears, the elephant's ears. One blind fellow is holding the tail. One fellow is holding the leg. And when asked what is their outlook, what they feel, one fellow says, one who is holding the tail, he says, it's a rope. Do you know this? Have you seen
Yeah.
this? In Doordarshan is there. So the one fellow who is holding the trunk, he says, it's some pillar. The one who's is holding the ears of the elephant, he says it's just a, some, we call it,
Fan,
uh,
hand fan,
yeah,
something.
fan. So it's all about perspective. Elephant is elephant. Elephant में कुछ नहीं बदला. Just because you're holding his tail and saying it's a rope, it has not changed to rope, right? It is tail. Tail will remain as a tail. It is only our perspective of looking at things.
I think some of us should have this picture in our room so that it's reinforced in our minds.
Yes. Maybe you were very small or you were not even born when this was there. But this was a very impactful ad that was there in our
I've
times.
not seen the ad, but I've seen the cartoon. So
It is beautiful picture, very एकदम जबरदस्त, बहुत अच्छा था, very inspiring for me from my young age. So see, these kind of sessions, I feel, okay, subject will happen. I'll always share subject continuously, but these kind of topics will actually change our perspective of looking at things, right? Now there are people who will look at a disease in a very huge way. If they have some knee pain, he says people are there who have, there was a patient who came to me. He had this back pain, okay, severe back pain. He had a fall. He was a bank employee from young age, but because of his thought process, he magnified the issue so much. In spite of me telling him, or hundreds of doctors telling him that his spine was okay, it has healed well, but psychologically he put himself in that block that ki nahi, I cannot cure myself. I am already handicapped. I'm already suffering and I will not be able to travel or sit. And he resigned at the age of 50, his government job. So it's sometimes, and there was one more patient, when we examined, I personally have seen that patient. I have seen his spine. It was so bad. It was so bad. अगर उस आदमी का spine अगर किसी डॉक्टर को दे दो, and if we have to analyze his spinal condition, that person is supposed to be bedridden. But when I met him in person, he was a yoga teacher. He was doing yoga, he was dancing, he was moving around at the age of 75. So imagine our perspective of looking at things. It's not only mental attitude. I'm not saying कि mentally बस मैं ठीक हूँ बोलना. I'm not saying कि that's the only right way, but exaggerating things and giving yourself a block कि this is stopping me. I'm already suffering. I'm having this issue is a wrong thing. I'm saying कि even if you have it, look at it, observe it, allow your mind and body to say कि yes, I'm healing, and go ahead. This is very, very important. See, issues will be there. We are humans. We are humans. There'll be seasonal changes, there'll be bodily changes, there'll be emotional stress. There are n number of things going on in the life. But then looking at it, going ahead with that, traveling with it, and telling yourself, whatever it is, I am healing is very important. Very, very, very important. And this is proved scientifically. It is not, I'm not talking blindly. I'm just saying it is proved scientifically, and you can see it if you start practicing this every day. It is proved. And it's not me, even allopathy doctors have proved it. The other day I have put that, I think, podcast in the group also. There was one doctor who suffered a lot. And when he had a tumor, he realized that, his thought process also need to change. And when he started doing meditation and going ahead positively, he healed himself. Dr. Mohit, yes, exactly, Dr. Mohit. If you can go back in the group, I have shared this podcast. Please listen to this. You will actually see a lot. It's not me who is talking. Ayurvedic doctor. It's the allopathy guy. He is one of the MPs now, who's doing a great work in research. He's a cardiologist himself. He healed himself. Yes, cardiologist, exactly. He has healed himself. So we can. It's all about working on to our physical thing and working again on mental terms to make ourselves very strong. Resilience, very important, right? Okay, 8:35 already done. So now we will start off with the Dinacharya that I wanted to talk about. Last time we have spoken about the diet rules, we have spoken about the Viruddha Ahara. Consciously try to avoid. Have you tried avoiding the Viruddha Ahara?
Yeah.
Or have you received the PDF I've shared with you, right? I didn't share the link with you, na
No,
Rajesh?
you're not.
No, no,
No, no, you're not
I'm
sure.
sorry, it skipped my mind. Tomorrow itself, I'll share it with you. It's there, it's already recorded. I will share it with you for sure. Viruddhahar is again as a concept, two combinations and different combinations of food on different levels. I will share the recording. Please go through and maybe again we can discuss in short with you for sure. Personally, I will do that for you. So today I want to talk about Dinacharya. Dinacharya plays a major role in our health. Sometimes some changes in our routine or daily lifestyle goes a long way. Dinacharya. Dinacharya is din is day, charya is the routine. So it is the daily routine that every person has to follow. There are some steady and fast rules that people have to follow, right? That is how it is mentioned. There are some exception according to season, age, all that I'll tell you in the process. But there are some rules which are, they have to be followed. First thing, waking up on time. Now, what is the right time according to Ayurveda? Ayurveda says, Brahme Muhurte Uttishte. These are rules. Brahme Muhurte Uttishte may not be followed, but I am actually following. I wake up at 4:30 now because 5:30 is the yoga class.
The Brahma Murta is at 3:30, right?
No, sir, 4:30. Exactly 48 minutes before the sunrise. If you can check it.
Okay.
Yes, it comes to around not even 4:30, 4:30 to 4:45 ke beech mein it comes. So see, I'm not.
What time do you sleep?
I sleep by 10:30. Yeah, I make it a
Okay.
point to sleep by 10:30.
So approximately around 6 hours sleep you have.
It's not, as I said last time also, it's not about the length of the sleep. It's the depth of the sleep. The quality of the sleep is what matters. People can survive even with just 3 hours. Just 3 hours of deep sleep, wherein your mind is absolutely at that tranquil phase, no, sir? You will actually, the body will wake you up. Even if you want to sleep, it will wake you up once that deep sleep happens. वो deep sleep पे ही हमको work करना है. I'll tell you how it can be done for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first rule that we have to follow is Brahme Muhurte Uttishte. We have to wake up at Brahma Muhurta. That is exactly 48 minutes before the sunrise. And it varies according to season. It varies according to the region also. So जैसे अभी इंडिया में एक है, foreign countries में एक होगा, according to their particular time. It varies. So I'll tell you the reason why we have to wake up in the morning. So because when we know the why, it is very easy to follow. What happens is when we wake up in the Brahma Muhurta, if I have to speak in the language of Ayurveda, if I have to speak in the language of three doshas, Vata is dominant during that particular phase. Vata dosha or the wind element is dominant during that phase. And what happens is at that particular time when you wake up, evacuation of the bowels is very clear. First thing. This I'm talking to you about health point of view, like what is expected now. So many people who complain of constipation, many people who complain of improper evacuation of bowels or there is gastric issue or bloating, if they wake up early, issue is solved irrespective of whether you use medicines or you don't use medicines, because vata has this property to move out. Once you skip this Brahma Murta or Vata Kala and you wake up in Kapha Kala, that is by 7 o'clock or 7:30 or 8 o'clock, Kapha has a property to retain. Kapha ko has because it's a heavy element, it will retain. So because of that, we develop constipation. Many people are looking out for quick fixes by just taking medicines or herbs. If they'll follow some, some help or probiotics or what. I don't agree to that. If you follow all these rituals of our dinacharya, nobody has to suffer because the balance of dosha happens automatically. So waking up on time, the main reason is because the vata is predominant at that particular time and its nature is evacuation. So what happens is it will naturally eliminate the urine and the stool and the gas. We have an exception. We need not wake up at 4:30, wake up at 5:30. That's okay. But before 5:30, before 5, we have to be up. We have to be up. And then after the first rule, as I said, wake up in the morning. One more importance of Brahma Muhurta is your focus is very high because you have slept well. You have slept well, your mind and your body has taken some rest. So your highest brain activity happens in the morning. There is highest absorption. Vata is responsible for creativity. Vata is responsible for absorption of knowledge. Vata is responsible for conversion of knowledge. So the moment you want to do some spiritual activities or you want to do some good activities or you want to analyze on a problem, make it a habit to start with the problem in the morning. You will get immediate answers. That is because Vata is dominant and Vata is responsible for that quick action and absorption.
So this Dinacharya is applicable for any body type, like any body
Anybody,
prakriti type.
anybody. Yes.
Uh,
There are some rules which are mandatory, but when there is imbalance of doshas, now say there is a person, Vata Prakriti person, who is already into too much of degeneration, whose mind is too active, too hyperactive. He is getting into some depressive or anxious phase. In such conditions, we tell them to sleep for more hours. As I said, when
mm.
there is imbalance of doshas, but when there is balance of doshas, waking up in the morning is good for all the three prakritis.
No, but see, we are whatever sessions we are attending now. I think some of the other issues is with the cycle only. Either
Okay.
it will be dosha only. So how do you say that if we are having some problem,
Hmm.
then we follow this Dincharya? If it is a regular, like your all doshas are balanced, then probably this may work out what you are trying to say. But if the doshas are imbalanced, then does it work? It does it work?
Okay. Great question. Very logical question you have asked me. You have to understand one thing, sir. See, when I give you rules, rules are there, but getting used to the rules and taking that first step is very important. And in the imbalance of doshas also we can start towards that journey. Now most of us who are in this group have gastric issues, bloating issues, acidity issues, constipation issues. Slowly when we shift from the time of waking up at 7 o'clock, when we start waking up at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 5, from 5 to 4:30, things will change.
I'll
Not
just take my
just
example. Like my
that.
dosha is like, as you know, it is Vata and Pitta
Yeah.
dosha. So what I have observed is like when I get up early, like na, I
Hmm.
have that symptoms, your drowsiness kind of a thing, fatigue. These all symptoms I've observed. But if
Okay,
I
agree.
sleep slightly late, like
Hmm.
say for example, instead of getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I get up at 6:30. Like weekends, like example, we don't have
Hmm.
yoga, so I get up late. So those days I don't have that kind of issues. So how do you, I
Absolutely,
mean,
I absolutely agree to this. So यहाँ पे एक आपको सोचना पड़ेगा कि थोड़ा सा sleep time, the night sleep time, you have to bring it down. Instead of sleeping at 11:30, try to bring it at 11, 10:30 if you can sleep. And I will support you by improving the quality of sleep. And sir, this
uh,
shift will happen very slowly. Even I am
yeah.
feeling overwhelmed. See, even I used to wake up by 5:30. 5:30 was my regular habit. But because of yoga and because of this community thing, I shifted to 4:30. Believe me, I suffered for 1 month. But after
Mm.
1 month, today, 2nd of June, I am feeling great. My body has got used to. What happens is when we are starting something new, we get overwhelmed with that. balancing multiple things because we have put targets कि नहीं ये ऐसे ही करना है ये ऐसे ही करना है. Okay, I want to improve my health. I'm not able to do, but I have to do. So there's so much of confusion. But धीरे धीरे, as you start making that habit, your brain also gets a proper signal कि हाँ आप इतने दिन 6 बजे उठ रहे थे पर अभी 5 बजे उठ रहे हो तो अभी मेरा साइकिल यहाँ पे चेंज होने वाला है. The brain will get used to that signal and you will start becoming more comfortable with that. I agree. I totally agree. I have gone through hell. I have suffered for 1 month.
Yeah.
In between, if you remember, I have not taken 1 or 2 yoga classes also.
Yeah.
I have experienced that. I was also very overwhelmed. Maintaining this community along with clinic, along with having different webinars, talking to patients. It was quite overwhelming because I was going through a very peaceful phase of my life where देखो एक 10 patient देखो घर आओ खाओ खाना खाओ and very cool. But now challenges have started for me. I'm talking to people, I'm understanding. I have to study, I have to do things. It was quite overwhelming. But I realized if I take it to my mind and if I feel too stressed, it affected me. But then one fine day I just said कि अगर मैं यही बात बोलना चाहती हूँ and if I don't follow it personally, what is the point of me telling you and guiding you, right? So that is the time I started 20th 15th day. I realized नहीं ये ऐसे नहीं होगा. I started calming down. I started organizing things. I started putting things in compartment कि ये time पे मैं ये करूंगी. Now luckily we have mobile, so we have notes, we have reminders. I put in that and I work accordingly. And things are becoming very good for me. Now waking up at 4:30 is not kind of a punishment. So without alarm also I'm able to wake up. It'll take time, sir. It's just a basic shift. और वो होगा. बस थोड़ा सा patience रखना पड़ेगा. I totally understand whatever your body is going through is a habit of what we have done for all these years, right? And making a new habit, as I said, will take minimum 1 to 2 months. एंड इट विल हैपन. दोषाज विल गेट यूज टू इट. वो थोड़ा सा जो इम्बैलेंस हो रहा है वो भी धीरे 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 टाइम पे आ जाएंगे. इट विल बी अ परमानेंट सेटअप फॉर अस आफ्टर दैट, राइट?
Yeah.
Yes, I know you may not find it very convincing, but as we discuss more and more and as we see it in practical, I'm sure someday you will only come and tell me about this. You will be a better person to tell me and analyze and tell me because as doctors ना हमारा थोड़ा सा वो पर्सपेक्टिव थोड़ा सा एब्स्ट्रैक्ट होता है and because you all are businessmen, it is more what do you say, point to point. ये ऐसे ही होना चाहिए, ये ऐसे ही होना चाहिए. We are like little abstract. Yeah, ये ऐसे है, ये ऐसे है, ये ऐसे. So for us, 1 hour, 2 hours here and there is okay. But for you, 1 minute, 2 minutes also is very particular, right? So you expect
Yeah.
very sharp answers. But sometimes we have to just let go and just enjoy the process. And you will see the difference in this. Be with me. I'm sure we'll see the change.
Now, one
Right?
more question. Like, see
Yeah.
the acidity means what the acidity producing acid is the function of liver, right?
Okay. Hmm.
Correct. So, if more acid is being secreted, that means there is some problem or the functioning of the liver is not happening properly, right?
Hmm.
Then how do you correlate it with gut?
Okay.
Because gut is a different part altogether of the body,
Gut
and
is
the
not a
function of
different
gut
part,
is
sir.
not to function of
Gut.
gut is not to secrete bile. Bile is a byproduct of liver. It's the liver's function. So
Okay.
how do
Now,
we correlate to
okay, you
gut?
tell me what is your understanding about gut exactly?
Gut is the body organ where the processing of the digestion happens.
Okay, I think in one of the meetings you were not there. We had this beautiful discussion. What exactly is
Uh-huh.
gut? I think you missed on that point, must be. Actually, sir, you have to
Okay.
understand gut is not one particular thing on one particular organ. Believe me, gut starts from mouth and it ends at the anal canal. So the whole
The
process
whole okay. So
the
that is
whole
called gut.
process of taking your food, chewing your food, sending it down, traveling from the esophagus, mixing in the stomach, getting it down through the small intestine, your bile secretions, adding it over there, going to the small intestine, traveling in the small intestine, coming to the large intestine, then coming out of the anal canal is the whole gut. और ये gut में ये
Okay.
brain भी है.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Then
this
my understanding of the gut was something
yeah,
different. Yeah.
I totally understand. You
No,
must
I
have
got
ex-
it. Yeah.
yeah, I got yeah.
Yeah.
क्योंकि शायद maybe you must have missed this meeting.
No, no,
We
the
can
liver
discuss.
part, no, I was taking it separately. The other part is obviously the part of the gut only.
Yes, yes.
Because from the digestion part to the excretion part, it is all taken care by the gut only. But the
Liver is
secretion of
also,
bile happens through liver. So
yes,
that is how I was trying to correlate. Like,
liver is also
why
a
are
part
you
of the gut.
saying that?
Yes.
तो
अगर
इसलिए मैं
if
पूछ
I
रहा
have
था.
to talk about Ayurvedic understanding, ये होता है कि एलोपैथी एंगल में ये डिफरेंशिएशन होता है, पर आयुर्वेदा में last time when I told you about the dominance of doshas,
हम्म,
kapha dosha is above the nipples, okay? जहां से nipple है वहां से जो above organs है, that is the
हम्म,
predominant condition of the kapha dosha. Kapha is our what do you say, placed all over the body. But if I have to
हम्म,
ask you where do you stay, Rajesh ji, is you will say I stay in Bangalore. You are in India,
हम्म,
but you stay in Bangalore. You have an address. Similarly, kapha dosha का जो स्थान है is above the nipples, above sir tak is kapha sthana. If I have to say where is the pitta sthana, pitta sthana is from the nipples till the umbilicus is your pitta sthana, and below
correct.
the umbilicus is your vata sthana. वाता पित्ता कफा का अपना एक एड्रेस है, पूरे बॉडी में घूमते रहते हैं, यहाँ वहां जाते हैं, पर उसका घर का एड्रेस आर दीज द थिंग्स. ओके, सो जब इफ आई हैव टू टॉक अबाउट द रियल गट जो हम लोग पित्ताशय बोलते हैं या जो डाइजेशन का प्रोसेस है, सी एवरीथिंग इज अ पार्ट, पर जो एग्जैक्ट जो चेंजेस होते हैं, जो डाइजेशन होता है वो इन द प्लेस आवर आमाशय इन आयुर्वेदा. आमाशय इज नॉट नथिंग बट आमाशय
Toxins.
इज डायरेक्टली ट्रांसलेटेड एज स्टमक, but it is not stomach. Amashay comes between the nipples and the what you say, umbilicus. So in that you will have your liver, you will have your pancreas, you will have your intestines, you'll have everything in that.
Yeah,
So Ayurveda
that's
gives
it.
a very different understanding about this, right? So this is nothing but the part of the gut. Okay, ama ashaya, the area where ama happens or the whole digestion happens is nothing but ama. ओके, माइंड तो है ही, कहीं पे भी शुरुआत होती है यहाँ से और यहाँ से ही होती है, बट देन दैट इज द ग्रॉस. सो योर लिवर, योर गॉल, एवरीथिंग इज ए पार्ट ऑफ द डाइजेशन, इवन योर पैनक्रियास.
Yeah, that is pancreas. Yeah.
यस, राइट, क्लियर ऑन दिस पॉइंट. यस, in these kind of
And tell me
discussions.
about this timings. Like there are some timings, right? For Vata, morning is I think till 8 or 12. Vata is there, then Pitta, something like that.
Okay, I will share a
And
proper
how do we
article.
correlate? Like, see, during that period, we should not
Yes,
have Vata foods or something like that is there
okay,
also there.
done. I'll
So how
first
do
share
we
a proper.
correlate that? Yeah.
Perfect. You have asked a beautiful question. Thank you for that. By tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I'll share a proper article on that with a first clock. First, a clock for your understanding. Once you get the
Because what I feel is like, why ask these questions? Because see, my body dosha is Vata and Pitta dosha I'm having. First half, I feel slightly sluggish, lethargic, fatigue. Second half, afternoon, like post 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, I'm perfectly fine.
like
So I
how
don't
much.
know. I mean, that is what I was trying to understand how this cycle works.
So
Like,
this is
is
an
it?
imbalanced feeling. Actually, even Isha was
Mm,
saying the same thing. Like, I'm sure even
uh,
Isha will relate to this. She also says the same. Daytime, I'm not very active, but as day progresses, I feel great. Right?
mm,
This is nothing but the indication of imbalance of doshas. That is because what has
okay.
happened कि जो digestion होना चाहिए था वो ठीक से नहीं हो रहा है, और वो as day progresses वो ठीक हो रहा है, उसकी वजह से you're feeling better in the later half of the day. Usually after 11, 12, you're starting feeling better, right? After that, you're fully active, right? And
Yeah.
then maybe till 8, 9, you feel great. But generally, right health is said that कि आप जैसे 4:30 बजे या जैसे 5:30 बजे उठते हो, you should feel the maximum freshness at that particular time. So here, whatever may be your prakriti, whatever symptoms you are suffering now is because of the imbalance of doshas. That is not because of the prakrita doshas.
Yeah.
सर, आप बिलीव नहीं करोगे, आयुर्वेदिक डॉक्टर्स को भी बहुत कंफ्यूजन है, ये प्रकृति क्या है और विकृति क्या है. इट्स ऑल बिग ह्यूज साइंस, बट द great questions that you are coming and you are throwing at me is like giving me a challenge wherein I am working more on that. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
And we will elaborate on this and I'll give you perfect answer for this. So once I'll share the clock with you, please go through the clock, all of you, and then we will have a proper discussion on that. So then you will have a proper understanding. नहीं तो क्या होता है कि will lot of time will be wasted on कि मुझे ये time बोलने में ही लग जाएगा. We will do it
Yeah,
by
got it.
tomorrow, day after tomorrow. You will get it because I have done it in the past. I have shared an article on that, so it is ready with me. I'll just rake up my old blogs and articles, and I'll get back to you with that.
Yeah, yeah. Got it.
Right? Okay. So we were at Brahma Muhurta, already 8:55. We have 20 minutes time or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay?
No, we can. I don't have
नींद
an
आ रही
issue.
है
We can.
ईशा जी? नहीं. Okay. Done. So Rakesh, you're listening, right? Okay, no problem. I know you are in travel, no issues. Anyhow, the recording will be there, so I'll share it anyway. Um, तो ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में जब हम
Yes,
उठते
yes.
हैं,
Listen,
या
I'm listening, ma'am.
या ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में जब हम उठते हैं, because the vata is very active, it has this highest capacity to absorb, analyze, and retain. That is the reason people, olden days, people used to wake up early, do their spiritual practices, meditation in the morning hours. One more reason, because the nature is very calm. There is not so much of pollution or not so much of noise around. So we are able to focus. This everybody knows. But the knowledge of why we are supposed to do the spiritual practices or more of, uh, थिंकिंग राइटिंग जो भी होता है ये सबसे ज्यादा ये टाइम पे हम कर सकते हैं. आप कोशिश करिए मे बी नेक्स्ट मंथ जुलाई में जब हम ये डिस्कशन में बैठेंगे एंड व्हेन यू स्टार्ट डूइंग इट यू विल बी एबल टू टेल मी कि नहीं हमने कोशिश किया है एंड वी आर सीइंग चेंजेस. होगा, धीरे धीरे होगा. इट कैन नॉट जस्ट हैपन इन अ क्लिक्स टाइम. दिस इज गोइंग टू बी अ वेरी स्लो प्रोसेस. दैट्स व्हाई waking up in brahma muhurta, waking up in the vata kala is very important, right? So evacuation happens properly. Once evacuation happens properly, naturally the first step of digestion starts well, right? Once the toxins are thrown off out of the body, naturally the digestion will improve, right? So that is how it works. Second thing, as soon as you wake up, first thing, just relax, calm down, just do wherever you are sitting or sleeping. As soon as you wake up, last time also we have spoken about gratitude. Last time also I have spoken about thanking things. Do that. Now also you consciously try to follow that. And once you start off with a calm mind, once you start off with a positive attitude, the whole day will be in the same level. If you have seen, for some reason, if you wake up agitated, the whole day will be like that because it has set in that dominoes effect. If you know those Jenga dominoes, if they are kept in line, and if you push one, it'll start. The whole thing will start following. So, how you start, whether you start with a positive note, whether you start with a negative note, makes a lot of change in your whole daily routine. So, जैसे आप उठते हो, एकदम first thing, wow, thank you, God. Just look at your hands, do some prayer. You don't have to believe in a physical form of God. I don't say you have to have a physical God. God is within yourself. God is your own conscience. Thank yourself for having a great life. You're woken up, done a great thing, and just say going to have a great day irrespective of the challenges, irrespective of whatever you have in your life. Say I'm going to start the day in a great way, start off nicely, wake up with a calm mind. After that you brush your teeth. Brushing your teeth mindfully is very important. Usually when you're brushing your teeth, हम क्या करते हैं, इधर घूमते हैं उधर घूमते हैं. We do many things, but we are never conscious of how we are brushing your teeth, right? तो मेरा एक ही कहना है कि when you're brushing your teeth, stand in front of the mirror and see which part of the mouth you are brushing. Why you have to do this also, I'll tell you. You have to do it is not only for the reason that your teeth will get cleaned. That is one reason. Second reason is you calm your mind. You learn to be in presence. Very. When you learn to be in presence throughout the day with each task, mind becomes very calm. When the mind becomes calm, your gut will start becoming calm. Initially, I used to be never mindful when I was brushing. As women, we have so many tasks. Start with cooking, बच्चों को college, school, बहुत कुछ होता है. तो बहुत सारी चीजें होती थी. But last 15 days, I've tried, not even 15 days, for quite some time, I've been doing that. that is creating a kind of, stability in my mind. बहुत ज़्यादा, I'm feeling very good. Try it. Try it. Stand in front of the mirror. Be mindful. What is your brush? How you're using the strokes. You don't have to put pressure, but nicely, cleanly. Okay, I'm cleaning this area. I'm doing it properly. Very important. And my good advice, if you can slowly shift from using toothpaste to some olden days tooth powders, it will be very useful. Very, very
Okay,
useful.
how about Ayurvedic toothpaste are there? No?
Sir, Ayurvedic
Like Himalaya is there.
what these
Uh,
companies have done, na, sir, they have added sweetening agent to that.
okay.
Sweetening agent is not very good for cleansing of mouth.
Ma'am, I heard this meme stick is there, no, ma'am.
Yeah,
Usually that we should start with that pungent kind of thing or చేదుతో start చేయాలి. Then that whatever we have, the microbes inside the mouth, it will go flush out. That's the reason why they used to have this in olden days is what I heard. Is it true, ma'am?
yeah, 100% true. But practically speaking, making these twigs available of neem is an impossible task. हम क्या करते हैं, goal which is not reachable is equivalent to not doing it. So I will never give you any non-reachable goals. Rather, I'll give you reachable goals. So in such a case, instead of going for twigs, twigs are very, very good. Neem is really good. Say someday you get time, you have a garden around where you can get these neem twigs. Nothing better than that. But when it is not possible, rather shift to tooth powders. Why? I'll tell you the reason. Reason is,
Any recommendation?
yeah, G32 is one option. I will put it in the group. Whatever
Ah,
you can. Danta Dhavana Churnam is there.
Ma'am,
Most
even for that powders also, once I heard from my dentist, he was saying that enamel or that whatever that is there, that usually gets rough. Is it true?
no, no,
No?
no. I'll tell you how. What happens is how we brush our teeth is important. Okay, first let me start. Sweet in the toothpaste is not recommended because it is Madhura Rasa. Madhura Rasa or sweet will never be able to do any cleansing. It will rather create a kind of coat. But anything that is kashaya or astringent will have this property to scrape off things. So there is khadira. There are
Yeah,
few
ma'am.
drugs or few medicine which have this property to remove the toxins, remove the clay, the dosha in the mouth. Only when your mouth is clean and clear, not the physical clean and clear, but the mouth is on a digestive layer clear, only then you will be able to taste the food properly. Because as I said, your first digestion part of the digestion or your gut health is your mouth, your tongue, right? So you have to shift to powders, tooth powders, or astringent toothpaste. What it does is, and remember that you take the tooth powder, but don't use toothbrush. Use your finger. Okay, use your finger, wet it, dip it in the tooth powder, and then slowly apply it on your gums and teeth. Rakesh has asked me a question that dentists are advising not to go for tooth powder is because people in the villages they use charcoal, which is very coarse, and they rub it very hard. That can cause a problem. But whatever powders we recommend are very fine. And when you take your finger and when you put it on your finger and rub it on your gums and teeth, see, cleaning teeth is we have limited it only to cleaning of teeth. We are not focusing on the gums. Gums are the actual seat where the teeth is there. So until and unless you take care of your gums, teeth is very temporary. So what we have to do is the right way of cleaning your teeth is take the powder, wet it first, make it a paste, apply it on your gums nicely, and then slowly clean it. Right? Slowly clean the whole thing and then hold it for just few seconds. Yeah. You have some question?
Um, Like there is a direct connection of this place under the tongue with our heart, right? So when we, even because we have sorbitrate for heart patients, so I believe when we use different toothpaste, does it affect our heart health also in long run?
Yes, yes, it does. It does. That's why adding so many of chemicals in the toothpaste, so-called preservatives and coloring agents and all, are actually not very. Maybe a few years down the line, the reports will come that stop paste because it is causing effect. I was
Hmm.
going to talk about this because first organ in the, this is the first organ for digestion, as I said. Also, there is sublingual absorption, the area below your tongue. Even in Ayurvedic medicines for your heart conditions or whatever, we put the medicine under the tongue for fastest of absorption. So imagine what
Like
goes into
homeopathy,
the.
also they say sometimes to keep it under the tongue.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So imagine when chemicals are entering your body, it is going to have a side effect. So when we put these astringent things or bitter things as powders, it has this property of cleansing and it has this property of strengthening your gums. Teeth is teeth. Teeth are already strong. They are a part of your bone. What needs to be strong is your gums, right? So if you observe in our olden days, people used to use these powders and even charcoal was added to that, but powders of different astringent things and bitter things because that has a property to cleanse the mouth. Once the mouth is clean, there is a proper perception of the food that you're going to take, and it will also clean the tongue. Usually, I don't know how many of you all have observed your tongue or you have a habit of observing your tongue in the mirror.
Yeah, we are using the tongue scraper also because we find the white coating on the tongue in the morning.
Exactly.
So is
That
it
is a good
recommended
habit.
or not recommended?
It is recommended. You can do it,
It's,
but do it very lightly. Very, very lightly. Because
I
what
mean,
happens is,
does
yeah,
it remove the acids or does it increase the nitric oxide production or something like
which
that?
one? Which one?
If we scrap the tongue.
No, 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 no. Scraping of tongue
Yes,
is
sir.
very simple. See what happens is, for n number of reasons, our metabolism becomes sluggish. That is the time ama develops in the body. Similarly, ama develops in the mouth also, and it is shown as a layer on the tongue. Many of us have this habit of scraping our tongue very hard. That is not a good habit because our tongue is full of different enzymes, different glands, and once they're damaged, it is very bad. You have to be very, very, very gentle. When you do the scraping, it should be very pleasant feeling. And when you do this ama layer, which is there on the tongue, is scraped off. And for many people, in spite of doing that scraping, that white will not go when the ama is very strong.
Correct.
Okay? So don't keep scraping. कि वो नहीं जा रहा है, don't do it. That's wrong. Here we have to
Okay.
treat the gut. But whatever superficial layer is formed on the tongue will be removed by your superficial scraping. Right? So when we take this bitter and astringent and salt kind of a taste in the tooth powder or toothpaste that we use, what happens is this ama is removed, the mucosa becomes very clean, the gums and the teeth become very strong, right? And copper tongue scraper is recommended. Anything is recommended. It doesn't matter whether it is copper because the time that we use to remove that amadosha on the layer is hardly few seconds. So it doesn't matter. It is only marketing gimmick whether you have to use copper or plastic or steel, irrespective. That doesn't have
So
major.
cleaning your tongue with the brush is also not recommended.
It is recommended. It is recommended. Do it very gently.
Yeah.
Always be gentle. When we are mindful, no, we are gentle. When we are not mindful, we do it for the sake of doing it. So be mindful. Observe every part. Okay, अरे ये आज मेरा दांत काला हो रहा है. अरे ये यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा food material है. Okay, my teeth has become sensitive. This is when we are mindful, we realize these things. Right? So you do
That
it nicely up. Yeah.
That white coating also on the tongue, on which part of the tongue it is, just signifies something like that?
Yes,
Yes.
it signifies ama presence in the body. See, normal white layer early morning before you're brushing your teeth is very normal. Very just that minimal layer. The moment you clean it, and if it goes, not an issue. But after cleaning
Hmm.
also, if it remains, then it is an
Yeah.
indication of pure ama in the body,
Yeah. That is it. Yeah. Hmm.
right? So cleansing with these astringent and bitter things will slowly scrape off that. Because as I said, digestion starts here. And when you give bitter, when you give astringent, when you give salty kind of a thing, धीरे धीरे digestion improve होता है. Yeah,
That's why we can use mustard oil and salt together, no, for this thing,
cleansing.
cleansing, and also clove, I think,
Yes,
and I'm not sure of methi seed powder.
you can. You can
So
use.
these are good. Anybody can use this.
Anybody can use. I'll come to that oil level now. After I do with the brushing, I'll tell you how we go ahead about that. So when we clean it nicely, allow it. One more thing I would like to recommend here is in this daily habit of using this powder, no, instead of adding water, you can add 2 to 3 drops of oil in that. Irrespective, you can use mustard oil, you can use coconut oil, you can use til oil, anything and everything. Just apply, add 2 to 3 drops, apply it on your gums, then nicely clean it with your finger. Yes, oil pulling, I'm coming to that next, Rakesh. Yes. So once you do this cleansing, allow it to stay for just 10 to 15 seconds and then spit it. And then you wash it with warm water, preferably, right? Because there's oil in that. Wash it with warm water, just cleanse it, and then the second procedure comes. If you are not in a habit of brushing at night, my indication is started. You use a toothbrush, but use it very gentle to remove the food particles. No need of using paste, no need of using any powder, just the toothbrush to remove the food particles. So, क्योंकि food particles, when they remain on your jaw or in between your teeth, what happens is because it is carbs or sugars, the bacteria in the
Yes.
mouth will start fermenting that. When it starts fermenting, it removes the enamel on the teeth, and that is nothing but cavity. ये जो लोग बोलते हैं ना यहाँ पे कीड़ा है वीड़ा है, कुछ कीड़ा वीड़ा नहीं होता है. It's just simple enamel which is getting destructed because the bacteria that is there, the bacteria which is very small, which is not visible, is creating a particular, again, amadosha that is responsible for cutting that enamel, right? वो प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट कर रहा है. तो रात को जब हम ब्रश करते, यू डू इट जस्ट विथ सिंपल विथ ब्रश, अलाउ द फूड पार्टिकल्स टू गो, तो सुबह उतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं रहेगा. यू डोंट हैव टू यूज ब्रश. अगर लगता ही है कि हाँ भाई साइकोलॉजिकली इतने साल हमने ब्रश किया है, यू कैन जस्ट डू ड्राई ब्रशिंग. यस, एज राकेश जी इज मेंशनिंग इन द चैट बॉक्स, जस्ट डू सिंपल ब्रशिंग. ये होने के बाद व्हाट यू विल डू इज यू कैन यूज कोकोनट ऑयल, यू कैन यूज तिल ऑयल in whichever area you are. Now, some North Indians, जैसे दिल्ली में लोग रहते हैं, they are mustard fans because mustard is grown in large quantities over there. So they can use mustard oil. Bengalis and North Indians and Delhiites and Orissa people use mustard oil. But for us in South India, til oil is the best option. So keep one bottle of oil in your bathroom. Mandatory, let it be there. Just take 2 spoons of that oil. You need not heat, nothing. Just take 2 spoons, put it in the mouth, allow it to be there. And then just for a few seconds, maybe 15-20 seconds, and then swish. When you squish this whole oil in the mouth, no, what happens is the toxins or the layer that is formed of ama in the mouth will slowly come into that oil and the liquid. Liquid is nothing but the saliva that the mouth secretes. Your saliva will mix with your oil when you start squishing it, and the whole thing comes out, and we throw it and we spit it. So the toxins are thrown out. Second property, because oil pulling is done. Oil pulling is nothing but the gandusha that we call. Kavala and gandusha are two
So,
procedures. Now that you are with Ayurvedic doctor, you slowly learn about Ayurvedic terms also, right? So there is
so
two.
oil pulling is done before brushing.
It can be done before, it can be done after. I recommend
Okay.
after. I recommend
After.
after. Yes.
Oh, okay.
There is a controversy in this, but my
Hmm.
logic, if I have to think, I always feel it is better to do after. So after
Hmm.
we brush with the powder, paste, whatever, and then we put the oil 2 spoons and we rinse it in the mouth.
Which oil we use? Coconut oil?
Till oil is the best.
Teal oil.
Sesame oil
Uh,
is the best.
Sesame. Hmm.
Yeah, sesame oil is the
Sesame.
best. Yeah,
Hmm.
that is the best. If that is not available, don't waste time. You can use coconut oil, you can use mustard oil. Anything is okay, right?
Yeah.
ये आप जैसे करोगे पूरा माउथ क्लीन हो जाएगा. You spit it and then you just rinse your mouth with warm water. Very important.
Hmm.
If not
How much
possible,
how
yeah,
much time, ma'am, rinsing?
rinsing till you feel you are not able to do it anymore.
Yeah, like 15-20 minutes I used to do with
No, no,
actually.
don't. Sorry, don't. Sorry, I muted you by mistake. Don't
Good.
overdo.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Nothing can be overdone. 20 minutes in a bathroom is just an impossible task
Because
for
the
us.
dense oil used to get lighter and it used to turn white, ma'am. So
Yeah,
it is like overdoing only, I guess. Yeah,
एग्जैक्टली करने की जरूरत
right.
ही नहीं है इतना. 5 मिनट भी बहुत ज्यादा हो गया. बाथरूम में 5 मिनट से ज्यादा हम देते ही नहीं है. इट्स नॉट नीडेड.
डॉक्टर
जस्ट माइंडफुली. या
राकेश जी को सारा कुछ पता है, तो अभी इन्फ्रेंस क्या हो रहा है? या तो राकेश जी सब जानते कुछ करते नहीं, या तो कर रहे हैं उसके बाद भी रिजल्ट नहीं मिल रहा
नहीं, राकेश जी कर रहे थे पर आयुर्वेदिक डॉक्टर के रिकमेंडेशन में नहीं कर रहे थे.
है।
ही ही वाज टेकिंग इन लॉट ऑफ कंटेंट, पर वो कंटेंट इतना ज्यादा हो गया कि कंफ्यूजन हो गया बिकॉज ही वाज फॉलोइंग नेचुरोपैथी एंड ही वाज फॉलोइंग
हम्म,
आयुर्वेदिक एंड ही वाज
ओह,
एवरीथिंग द बेस्ट. See what happens is on the name of being healthy we try to find out what is the best in life, but कभी कभी
हाँ,
ये कंटेंट का जो क्लटर होता है ना वो भी प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करता है. दैट इज अगेन a नामदोषा, right? That is again a namadosha. So yes, in the process Rakesh is also learning slowly.
Yeah,
Yes,
and I definitely seen result also, ma'am. Actually,
yes,
when I did the soil pulling, especially during winters, I used to have the cracked heel, dry skin. So it used to get healed within a day or two, exactly without applying any oil or anything, actually. So
yes,
that's how I used to do that. Yeah,
yes,
definitely. What
yes.
Rajesh is saying is right.
Yes,
राकेश
actually,
राकेश जी डिफरेंस कुछ लगा क्या आप करने के बाद? आई
that's
एम
what.
I
ऑडिबल
used to,
राकेश?
yeah. I used to feel good, sir. Like in the morning, once after doing that, I used to feel fresh. Actually, rather going for toothpaste and all these things,
हाँ,
especially for my dry skin, it helped me a lot. Like I
अच्छा,
said, for cracked heels and other things also, even if in spite of applying oil, also I used to get pains sometimes. But after
हाँ,
doing this oil pulling for about 2 days or 3 days, immediate instant result I used to have. So I used virgin coconut oil sometimes and sometimes sesame oil. Any oil has helped me, but I have not
अच्छा.
done that swishing of about rinsing of warm water after doing that oiling. Maybe I need to even inculcate that now.
एग्जैक्टली सोशल मीडिया में इतना नॉलेज है ना, तो आधा आधा ही जा रहा है सबके पास. मैं वही बोलती हूँ कि आधा आधा ही जा रहा है. तो इसीलिए व्हेन आई एम टॉकिंग टू यू ऑल,
Sorry.
irrespective of whether you understand the words or no, I still make it a point to introduce those words to you scientifically, जो आयुर्वेदा बोलता है. And I'm trying to go very one point at a time. So
Yeah.
when we do oil pulling, it's not about only cleansing. जो आपको पता है इज ओनली टिल क्लेंजिंग लेवल. जो हमें पता है इज नॉट ओनली क्लेंजिंग बट हीलिंग लेवल. सी एज आई
Yeah.
सेड, जो ऑयल है, ऑयल इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर हीलिंग, ऑयल इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर बाइंडिंग, right? So when we overuse and when we overdo everything, so kabhi kabhi hamare masude or our gums become inflamed for n number of reasons. Our lips become very dry, or you must have seen receding gums. We have developed even painful teeth, sensitive teeth. But because oil has this property of healing, because if you have seen when we apply oil, no, things become very smooth, right? It has this property of healing. So when we do this oil, gandusha or kavala in your mouth, it will slowly start healing the mucosa of your mouth. It will slowly start healing the gums. So people who have gum issues or pyorrhea issues where they smell a lot in the mouth, धीरे से जब से ये ऑयल पुलिंग या कवल गंडूश जब हम करने लगेंगे, you will see 1 month's time results. And dentists are also doing it now. Dentists are also recommending now. They are also recommending, right? It has been 3 years I visited dentist. That's great. That's great. Really nice. Actually, sir, you please start doing it and you will see a change. I can actually introduce you to one of my dentist friend who has been doing it religiously. She will not do anything else, but oil pulling is a mandatory part of her life. And she has got one of the best smiles. She is maintaining that oral cavity so well. ये एक ही बात नहीं है. It's not about only the gums being strong or not the only what do you say teeth becoming strong, but जब हम oil use करते हैं, because the mucosa is absorbing oil, that makes your gut also very soft. That also helps in evacuation. इतना science है. Our olden people were not fools. They were much beyond our imagination. इतना science था उसमें. Oil was used to not only strengthen our teeth but also to properly help our gut movement, as I said. Right? So this is very important. You have to start already 9:21, maybe just 7 minutes more, and 9:30 we will wind up. There is दिनचर्या शुरू होने से पहले ही end हो रहा है हमारा. We have just started with 3 points. Okay, great. So you have to
Okay.
start with Brahma Muhurta. You have to start using, instead of using the paste, shift to powders or astringent paste. Neem twigs if you can. That's the best. That is not a problem.
Which
And
one?
neem.
Neem. Okay, that
Yeah,
will not be able
yeah.
to get.
That is not visible sometimes.
Now,
For
which is the powder you told?
I will put it in the group. Different brand names
Ah,
you can choose, whichever
done.
available in the nearby pharmacies. I'll put in
Right.
different options. And next is you have to do Kavala Gandusha. There are two options in this process. One option is just taking 2 spoons and rinsing the mouth. And there is something called as Gandusha. Okay, there are two procedures in Ayurveda which can be done once in a week, wherein you use almost 60 to 70 ml of oil, wherein you retain it in the mouth. This need not be done every day, but once in a week or twice in a week, you have to just put it in a glass, drink the oil, don't gulp it, put it in the mouth. The quantity of oil should be so that your mouth is full. You cannot even drink 5 ml after that. And you should hold it for a time where you start getting tears from your eyes or you feel like puking. It is variable again for each person. Some person may be able to retain only for 5 minutes because we are not used to. Some may be able to retain for 10 minutes. Some may be even able to retain for 12 minutes.
Same
Right?
oil.
Same oil. You have to just retain it, hold it. इतना उसको ऐसे भर के रखना है. Your eyes will start tearing. Your mouth will be like, और थोड़ा nausea जैसे फील होगा, vomiting जैसे फील होगा. That is the time. There should be no space for even swishing. इतना भर के. अभी जैसे ये ग्लास है, मे बी half a glass of water I'll be able to hold it. उतना तेल. Weekly once you have to do this. उसको भर के ऐसे रख के शीशे के सामने आप खड़े रहो, माइंडफुली खड़े रहो, देखो खुद को. एंड देन वंस इट इज डन, जस्ट spit it out totally, and then don't forget to rinse your mouth with warm water, because oil को सिर्फ warm water निकाल सकता है. Otherwise you'll continuously have that oily feeling in the mouth. That will give you a very weird kind of a feeling. So always clean it with warm water.
Mm.
Right? This is the rule till here. If you have any doubts, I think all the doubts were cleared in the question answer sessions only. इसमें और एक ऑप्शन मैं देती हूँ आपको. If you are still more very careful, if you still want to make your teeth more strong, और आपको इसको ताकतवर बनाना है, there are people who continuously suffer with dental issues. Such people, there is one more option. What you can do is, along with all this, take Triphala Churnam, around half teaspoon, heat it, boil it in a small glass of water. Okay, just boil it, and or make it, maybe you can just add it in warm water. And once that warm water is ready, after you spit that oil, not the 1 week का, even the normal जो daily हम लोग तेल डालने वाले हैं, after you spit that, this Triphala Kada or Triphala Kashayam, You can just put it in the mouth, rinse it. So you're not able to get rid of the toothpaste or you still want to use the toothpaste. Yeah, abhi powder aane tak time hone wala hai. Start with Triphala because Triphala has got 5 rasas. It has got sweet, amla, madhura, lavana, katu, tikta, kashai. Only the rasa that it doesn't have is pungent. It doesn't have tikha in that. So it is one of the best rasayan. And because it is rich in astringent taste, pura mouth clear kar deta hai. So you can swish your mouth with the Triphala Kada.
So I didn't understand Trifla. When to take, after oil pulling or when
After oil pulling. Exactly.
after oil pulling?
Yes. So जो भी ऑयल का रेमिनेंट्स है वो भी वो निकाल देगा माउथ में. And because it is rich
After
in
oil pulling or brushing, whenever like to start with. Otherwise, it is advisable to do it after oil pulling only for
yes,
complete cleansing.
exactly. Not only complete cleansing. Again, फिर भी इसमें और एक ट्रिक है.
And nutrition, Trifla का पूरा nutrition gut health के लिए.
Exactly. Because Triphala is a mild laxative. उसका जो sublingual absorption होता है, that also triggers. It
Yeah,
facilitates proper digestion.
even sometimes even it has a dehydration also, no, ma'am, because of laxative thing. I used to.
हम त्रिफला इंटरनली नहीं ले रहे राकेश जी. We are just using it for mouthwash. It
Yeah,
is,
but it,
remember, instead of using all the normal mouthwashes which is there in available in the market, if you read articles on mouthwash, the research papers, it is totally contraindicated because they are so strong in taste that is causing a lot of cardiac issues also. So stop all the mouthwashes. Start with simple Trifla mouthwash. The best. The best. Just take warm water. You don't have to even boil. त्रिफला पाउडर ले लो, गर्म पानी में थोड़ा सा घोल लो. वो भी अगर आप यूज करते ना, वो भी शॉर्टकट है. बेस्ट इज बॉईल इट वेल. If not, boiling is not possible, just add it and use it. That is also possible. Right? Yeah, this is a third rule. In how much quantity? Half teaspoon. Half teaspoon trifala in a small cup of water till you need it for swishing. That's it. Right? Got it? So we will stop here till now because again, if I get into the next point, it will be much lengthier. वो फिर मैं रोक भी नहीं पाऊंगी. Right? So that is the thing. And 9:27. Any more question on this thing? You can always ask me.
The
So
oil pulling is done only in the morning or even the night also?
only in the morning. No need
Morning.
of doing it at night, sir. क्योंकि यूजुअली रात में पेट थोड़ा सा फुल होता है. सो कभी कभी इट कैन कॉज इंडाइजेशन बिकॉज इट्स ओनली 2 hours ऑफ नील बाय माउथ. यूजुअली हमारा डिनर 6:30-7 बजे हो जाता है. या फिर इवन इफ इट इज 4 hours or 5 hours, देयर इज ऑलवेज अ चांस कि माउथ इज नॉट वेरी क्लियर. सो ऑयल पिलिंग इज नॉट नीडेड एट नाइट. Clearly, it is indicated only in the daytime, according to Ayurveda. But cleaning the mouth with brush or just mouth, rinsing your mouth to remove the food particle, it is mandatorily said. Even at night, it is very important. You have to do it. Right? Done? Clear with this? So three
You
rules
can use castor oil also, no?
for
Castor oil.
for
Oil pulling.
no, it doesn't help.
Oh,
It's
because of
too
the sticky property, it won't help.
see oil. See, every oil helps. But if I have to give you the best option, then it is til oil. Second comes the coconut oil, the mustard oil. All that follows later. Castor oil का अपना अलग प्रॉपर्टी है. उसका अलग
Okay.
है. बहुत
Okay.
स्टिकी हो जाता है. इतना स्टिकी कि you sometimes feel like puking. So I wouldn't recommend so much of castor oil. But these oils are always better option. Castor oil can
Okay.
be used in people who have too much of dryness in mouth or who have too much of dryness in their tongue and all. Last option. But वो
How do you figure out if one has dryness in the mouth? How does the person come to know on
जैसे अगर आपको हर बार कंटिन्यूअसली बहुत ज्यादा प्यास लग रही है, you have
Okay.
too much of dry lips, or you feel your lips and tongue is getting cracked very frequently in spite of applying lot of
Lips also get, sorry, tongue also getting cracked.
हम डॉक्टर हैं तो काफी सारे पेशेंट आते हैं हमारे पास. So many patients. One more
Like
thing.
it becomes flaky or like crack.
You can see cracks at the side. Yeah. One more important thing. Whatever oil pulling we are doing, no, that is very good to strengthen your eyes also. It doesn't limit only to the mouth. It doesn't limit only to the teeth. Because see, when you do it in the mouth, as I said, any procedure that is done above the clavicle will nourish all the organs here. And oil that has that property, because see, your ear, nose, and throat are connected in the mouth, behind the mouth. Exactly, there is one passage. तीन आके एक ही जगह पे रुकते हैं. That's why sometimes when we cough or when we do something, our eyes will water and our ears also will get some sensation. That is because all the three are connected, right? So when we do this oil pulling, your eye capacity will improve. People who are working on systems, people who have this dry eye syndromes, for them also, and for people who have this vision issues where the number is increasing, Gandusha will really help. Ayurveda mein oil was an integral part of it. Integral part of everything. अभी हमने पूरे ऑयल को कल्प्रिट बना दिया है. We have to again get back. So you have to
Ma'am,
understand.
Definitely.
I'm giving you all the scientific reasoning behind that. I'm not just saying
ghee,
ki use kar. Yeah.
ghee should not be used, no, ma'am,
For
for the oil pulling, right?
no. It is only oil.
Yeah.
It is only oil because I'll tell you again. Yeah, good question. Why ghee should not be used? I'll tell you. Because ghee will increase, it decreases vata, but increases kapha. But oil will not increase kapha.
Sorry.
अभी जब माउथ है, ये ऑलरेडी कफ करा ऑर्गन है. दिस इज ए ऑर्गन इन द कफ एरिया. इसका एड्रेस ही कफ है. अगर इसको हम फिर से घी देंगे तो माउथ में क्या होगा? कफ बढ़ेगा. दैट टाइम यू विल अगेन लूज टेस्ट. इंडाइजेशन इश्यू स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. So no ghee. You can apply it in the lips and all, that's a different issue. But in the mouth, it's only the oil. Remember that. Right? So next, when we meet, there's a lot of part of Dinacharya. बहुत बताना है. इसमें next आएगा Nasyam and all that. That will come. We will have this discussion. It's going to be very beautiful after this. Today's discussion was wonderful. I didn't even know that, your doubts could make me think so much. Really. Thank you
I
for
have
that.
one more question. Like when I ask quickly, like why do we have to drink water in while we are sitting only, not why not when standing?
That is because of, again, mindfulness. ये इसके बारे में मेरे को एक्चुअली फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग अभी तक मुझे भी उसके पीछे जो साइंटिफिक रीजनिंग है ना, वो नहीं पता. पर गड़बड़ में नहीं पीना है इसका मैं बता सकती हूँ क्यों. when we drink in a hurry, we tend to gulp in lot of vata inside. That will cause bloating. आप अगर खड़े भी रह के पीते हो ना, तो ऐसे ग्लास पकड़ के सिप करके पियो. बैठने के लिए हम क्यों बोलते हैं? बिकॉज टू क्रिएट अ स्टेबिलिटी. अगर आप खड़े
Okay.
के भी स्टेबिलिटी देते हो ना, दैट टेक्स केयर. दैट इज व्हाट माय लॉजिकल थिंग सपोर्ट्स मी. आई डोंट बिलीव इन blind things like that. Ayurveda is very logical science. Very, very logical science. So even if you're stable in a standing position, you can have, but just a sip by sip. Right? Done? Already
That's
9:30.
why they said chew water, drink food. Like we have to be that slow. No, like
Yes.
I can't do it.
You can do it. Only one step at a time. ऐसे कुछ नहीं होता कि हम नहीं कर सकते. जब दिमाग में आ गया, हाँ हाँ भाई ये अच्छा है, आज नहीं तो कल जरूर करोगे आप.
I hope so.
Not hope so.
Ma'am,
I will.
yeah,
That is what I want from you. I will is what I want from all of you all. Not
ma'am,
I.
this,
Yeah,
yeah,
Rakesh.
this Gandusha should be, can we start now, or is it like we need to wait for some time? All the Samadoshas need to be done, and
No,
then
no,
only
no,
we
no,
have
no.
some.
Please
We
start.
can
Please
start.
start. Yes,
And
yes.
daily we can't do, ma'am. Only one weekly once. What you are recommending at the
See, as
moment?
I said, Kavala and Gandusha, there are two things. Kavala
Yeah.
is swishing it in mouth. You can do it every day. Gandusha, as I said, the holding of oil. Once the Amadosha comes down, only then you can do. पर इतना भी आम नहीं है. सबका अभी धीरे धीरे इम्प्रूव हो गया है. यू आर नॉट इन
Hmm.
एनी आम कंडीशन. यू कैन स्टार्ट.
Okay. And
Not
season
an issue.
specific, any season specific, ma'am? This
No,
one also?
no. This
Nothing.
can be done every day, all the seasons, all the age.
Super. Right. Thank you, ma'am.
Right? Yes.
Thank you. Good
Chalo.
night.
Okay, then good night. Think about Ayurveda.
Thank
Write
you.
your
Good night.
notes. Please share your
Ma'am,
experience.
just one question. Like others can please leave if they wish to. Just the first stotra that you said about, I want to write down. Can you repeat?
Brahme muhurte uttishte. Brahme
Brahma Muhu
Brahme
Muhurte.
muhurte uttishte.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Done.
Thank you.
Okay. Good night. See you all in the yoga class tomorrow.
Thank you.
Rakesh ji, you will be joining? No, you're not joining these days. I agree. Rajesh, you will
Yeah,
be
ma'am.
there.
Night sleep, I mean, I'm not having
No problem.
properly, ma'am. So
No
that's the reason. Little when but every day I'm doing yoga for 45
Good.
minutes in the morning after the waking up.
Good. 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 राजेश
Right,
जी will
ma'am.
be there, right? In the morning tomorrow?
Yeah, yeah.
कल हम
Yeah.
करेंगे. आज हमने योगा का थोड़ा ब्रेक दिया. आज थोड़ा सा
Uh,
ज्यादा डिस्कशन हुआ, पर ठीक है. सी इट्स ऑल अबाउट लर्निंग. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि वही करना है एंड दैट गिव्स अ स्ट्रेस. ऐसे कुछ नहीं. किसी दिन अगर लगा नहीं भाई आज मेरे बॉडी को रेस्ट चाहिए, नो प्रॉब्लम, रिलैक्स. पर बॉडी बोलना चाहिए, दिमाग नहीं.
yeah.
दिमाग तो रोज बोलता है, दिमाग को रोज नींद चाहिए, पर बॉडी बोलना चाहिए. इट्स नॉट दिमाग. दिमाग को अपने को, योर माइंड शुड बी अंडर योर कंट्रोल एंड यू शुड ऑल्सो लिसन टू योर बॉडी. इफ योर body says no, I can't do it, relax, just relax. Okay, chalo, see you all tomorrow morning.
Yeah, yeah.
Isha, I want to see you tomorrow
Thank you.
morning. Be there.
I'll try.
5:30. The class is shifted to 5:30, not 5:15 now, right?
Sure. Okay.
See you.
Yeah.
Yeah, good night. Good
Thank
night.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
bye bye.
Night.